We'll get started. I don't want to waste your time. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so our goal
I
today.
think there was a meeting like last month.
Yep.
We missed it.
Yep, no
Okay.
problem. The first month we talked about how students qualify to be English learners in California. So it talks a little bit just about kind of the legalities behind why we identify kids who are emerging bilingual and how we support them. And then this month we're just going to talk a little more deeply about how they're supported specifically at REACH. And so when kids are enrolled in school in California, you fill out a home language survey, and it indicates what languages they're speaking from the time they're born, what language the adults are speaking in their home, what language the child primarily speaks, and what was their first language that they used. And then using that information, we determine whether or not they need to take the initial ELPAC assessment. And that assessment is a way to measure how fluent they are in English.
I see.
And so kids who are emerging bilingual receive specific supports at school. And so that's what we're going to focus on this week.
Okay.
All right. And so I did translate everything. I wasn't sure how many people were going to come, whether they speak English or not. And so if it helps, we have it translated into Spanish and Arabic on the screen. But if you have any questions that I can't answer, feel free to put it in the chat box and I'll sort it out and get back to you. Are you guys comfortable with English presentation? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the agenda today, we're going to kind of cover 4 topics. We're going to go over our bilingual demographics at REACH and then the support they have in the classroom. And then we're looking at feedback from parents. We want to talk about what the ELAC committee is, which is the meeting we're at right now, but why do we have this committee? What is the focus? Why do we meet? And then we'll talk a little bit about the ELAC board. It's been hard to put a board together because we don't have a lot of people who show up, and we'd like to get a team of parents who are interested together where we can count on them to come back and help us engage more of our bilingual community. All right, so talking first just about the demographics here at REACH and what supports students are receiving. Is this in the way? Okay, there we go. Oh, good. We have more people. There we go. I'll wait for her to connect. Hi, Miss Ruiz. I'm Mrs. Stumeyer. Welcome. We were just getting started. We're going to talk about our bilingual population here at REACH and what supports we have in the classroom. So our bilingual population mainly consists of Spanish and Arabic speaking families, but it also includes families who speak Mandarin, Turkish, Urdu, Bengali, and Korean. Students at REACH receive specialized English instruction through Alexia English curriculum, which is a hybrid of artificial intelligence, assessments, and then teacher-led instruction. And the way that that works is that the kids, when they start using the program, they take an assessment that places what skills they need to work on, and then they engage with the computer 3 days a week. And it has online conversations with artificial intelligence. And so they're scripted dialogues that focus on specific grammar and language skills. And then using the information we pull from that program, so we can see what they're doing and how they're performing when they talk with the program. And then we can pull lessons that teach the skills they're missing, and they work with a teacher at least 1, but for some of the grades, 3 and 4 times a week. And they work on doing conversations in that group and practicing speaking, listening, reading, and writing skills. Any questions about what that looks like? It's a new program at REACH, and so we're pretty excited about it. The kids seem to really like it. You can see on the picture if you're, sorry, I know you're driving, Mr. Abbasi, but if you're not.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I cannot see anything right now because I'm driving, but I have a question here.
Yes.
On the side of the, like in addition to the academic way, you helping the bilingual student who were raised or born speaking a second language beside the English. So in addition to the academic way with the artificial intelligence or speaking with them, teach them some grammars, is there any activity on the side of that? Like,
They
I
do.
mean, activities. I
Oh,
mean,
like
activities
games?
like, no, not only games.
Okay.
Like to give them the
Like the
chance to
homework?
interact, yeah, to interact with the, like with other kids who were born speaking only English
Yes.
as an activity side for the sake of learning.
Oh, they still participate in general ed instruction. So they do group projects and small group instruction in the classroom for English language arts, for math, for writing, social studies, science. They
Nice.
do all of that. But for 30 minutes a day, they do English language development as well.
Okay, because learning another language by living like in a different country and a different culture, it's not about how to speak the language. It's also about how to think the way people were born here have the way of thinking. This is make a difference. This is why I'm asking for like if there's activity, but if there's already activity there, so it sounds good.
Got it. I like that. Let me make a note because I think that's probably something we could do more in our pullouts instead of just doing
Because
the instruction.
to be honest with you, I've
Mhm.
been speaking English the whole my life since I was in my home country or original country in Jordan, but it was like a little bit hard to start speaking with the local people in the United States because the way of thinking, the logic you use, the language with it, it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So if
dialect,
the dialogue,
nuance.
it's not only the dialogue, the logic of using the language. So if I want to tell you something in my different culture logic, so if I want to literally translate it into English, it would make a different sense.
That makes,
You
you know
know,
what, that makes a lot of sense. The sentence structure and where you put each kind of word, is that?
yeah,
Okay.
I know that, but let me ask you a question. Do you speak other language other than English?
I speak a little French and some Japanese.
It's good. So the culture, it's a kind of have a difference. So when you need to explain something in your language or in your home language, and you translate it to another language, it's not only about the language translation.
Mhm.
It's about the logic you use to think about what you want to explain.
Yes. That's a
Yeah,
good note.
this is what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, when I was learning Japanese, I think that was the hardest part, was being able to figure out, because in specific translations, the meaning was different. And I'd have to
this is
put it
yeah.
together differently.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
And Miss Rees, I see your question in the chat box. Thank you. For the ELAC committee, we sent the class dojo out a few times, but then I did send an email to parents who have students that participate in ELD. So there was a flyer that was emailed to parent email accounts. Does that answer your question, or is there a different component to that? I'll try typing. Okay. Hope that answers it. If not, please stop me and let me know, okay? All right. Really good notes. Thank you, Mr. Abuasi.
No
Am I
problem.
saying that right? How do you pronounce it?
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, am I saying your name right?
Yeah, my last name, yeah. You
Okay.
say it right.
Cool. Ms. Rees, I saw you unmute. Did you want to jump in with the answer? Did I answer your question?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
It's okay. Did I answer your question?
I couldn't hear. I had some disturbances in the background. I'm sorry. Can you repeat
Oh,
that?
sure, no problem. I put it back in the chat box just in case. We sent an invitation personally to the email accounts for parents who have English learners at Reach, but we also posted it on Class Dojo for anybody who is interested in supporting our bilingual population. Does that
Okay,
help?
that's great. Because I know of I've been part of that, but I actually have to renew it. Cabe is actually one that talks about how to promoting and different activities within the schools, and Cabe is an actual bilingual, I would say, implements curriculum within classrooms and staff for bilingual learners. I don't know
Oh,
if you've
okay.
heard of it.
No, could you put the name in the chat box so I can copy it down, please?
Yes, I'll do that now.
Great, thank you. Oh, thank you.
It's all capitalized. I was actually a member for a bit, but then I have to renew my subscription. But it also talks about implementing bilingual in classrooms and how to work together and stuff like that.
That's great. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
So the slides that we've just reviewed are really just about the support in class for academics. But I like the idea of having more activities where students are engaged with English speaking peers to look at that logic of how we use language. I'll have to investigate Kabe and see if maybe we can come up with some new activities that would better incorporate some strategies, because I know teachers are doing projects with kids often where they're doing a lot of partner talk and small group talk. Upper grades do a lot of Socratic seminars where they debate and discuss academic content. But maybe we can look at making sure that the supports are in place for students to clearly explain themselves and maybe access that more easily, just to get the logic behind it. Thank you guys for your feedback. This really helps, makes it way more interesting than me going through slides. Thank you. So we're going to talk a little more about some feedback from parents. So how do you feel we could better support our bilingual students at Reach? What are some things you'd like to see? It could be anything.
How do like let's say for a Spanish speaker who just doesn't understand the English language, how is he being assisted in the classroom within translation?
It's a good question. It kind of depends on grade, age level, teacher, but I've seen a number of different things depending on the student and the need. Some teachers use Google Translate. Some have a peer translate where a friend will help. I know there's some students who access a dictionary where they can go in and look for the words, but that's harder because you do have to piece the chunks together. And if you're using like speech to text, they can talk and see it or have it respond. So the tech has been a help there. But that's kind of where that ELD talk time seems to help, is that they can talk to other kids who speak Spanish or speak Arabic or speak Turkish, and have that friend there who gets it and can kind of help translate until they get their feet wet. Cool. All right, thank you. Are there any like academic pieces that you'd like to see that you're not, or even social components Like, is making friends ever a concern?
I have a small note.
Mhm.
Yeah. If there is a new activities coming for, like, if there is a new activity, my suggestion, I have a personal suggestion, do not let the kids that they have to do this activity for the sake of learning the language or for enhancing the English language, because this gonna put the kids another challenge for like just like taking another assignment or taking another homework. It's not gonna go natural.
Right.
So yeah, this is my note.
So maybe something like a problem solving where they have to maybe
No,
do
but
something.
it's a kind of it's a kind of like they're gonna take in another homework
Right.
or another assignment to do. But if it goes like it's just like an activity, all the kids can do it. Maybe the activity will go like more smoothly to where it should go. Like the kids will learn smoothly with it.
So not a
And-
forced
and
assignment, something natural,
Sorry.
something that's not like a forced assignment, something kind of
Yeah,
fun
it's
and
not forced
engaging.
assignment, just
Yeah.
to let like going smoothly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Something they can all be successful with and feel good about their progress.
Yeah, because if the kids feel like, okay, we have to do this activity and we need to focus, they will be feel like it's kind of like being forced to do that. So they will not be like happy to do that. I guess I'm not sure,
That
but I
makes a
think
lot of sense.
yeah. But if it goes more naturally and being like part of just another day at school, so that would be more benefit for the sake of learning and help them having like more natural English.
That makes a lot of sense. Something that's fun and not an
Yeah,
assignment, but like an activity where they can all do
yeah,
something fun together.
because they don't like to be forced to do anything.
Yeah, kind of like
Even if it's joyful, they will start to, okay, it's just another class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Good feedback.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Any other ideas for supporting students? I do have other questions too. If you're...
Have we tried a cultural event?
That's actually I think it's the next question. For families and inclusivity. So we have in the past done some cultural events. It's been harder with COVID because we can't commingle cohorts and you can't have parents on campus. But one of the things that we want to try to do is make sure that we're celebrating all of the cultures that our families bring to the table, right? I know that we just finished back in October Hispanic Heritage Month. We have Black History Month in February, but there is a event calendar that was created by like a cultural inclusivity event committee. So they're trying to put together more components so that it's not just one or two cultures that are represented, but that everybody feels celebrated and included and part of the group. Are there any events that you guys celebrate that you're not seeing that we could try to incorporate?
Not at the moment, because we did have Hispanic. I don't know if the other cultural, like more from a different culture. I know Hanukkah would be one. I don't know if there's other ones. That would be really great. I would love to learn from other different cultures too.
I agree. I know we used to do one with multi holidays around the winter holidays because there's so many that are going on at the same time with Eid al-Fitr, I think it is. I know I'm not saying it right. There's also Hanukkah. There's Kwanzaa. There's a couple of I think is that 3, 4? but we used to have books that we would share and the kids would be able to read about it, and then we'd play some games. I'd love to do like a food event with kids, but it's hard to share across the whole school. We'd have to break it up into chunks because of cohorting.
What could be a good idea, like once everything okay to go, if you don't mind jumping in, like like we said, a culture for different cultures, and to have different stands for that particular culture, and then they could serve their food, you know, the most popular food, like having a tent, so it's going to different stations, like going around the world.
Yes, that sounds like a lot of fun. If it's outdoors, we might be able to make something happen. It's a good idea.
We have, you know what, as Arabs, we have some occasions. If you know Ramadan,
In the
basically,
spring, right?
yeah, it's a religious occasions. Like we have 2 occasions a year, which is Eid al-Fitr, or it's occasion after Ramadan. So people celebrating that Ramadan is finished and the fasting time is finished. So they celebrate for 3 days. And there's like a Adha. It's a story about Abraham and his son, who use the story or the historical story, whatever it is. But Muslim and Arab, they celebrate for another 4 days for this occasion. But the problem is these occasions is dated with a Hijri calendar, not the regular calendar we use it here. So every time in the year it comes with a different date.
I think if we made it part of our bilingual celebrations, that would be one of the things we do at the beginning of the year then, is look at what's the calendar for the year and when do we celebrate. Now I know in the past during Ramadan we've tried to accommodate kids, because very often it falls during state testing, but the kids are fasting, and so that makes it really hard for them to focus, because they tend to be more tired or hungry, and it's hard, especially when it's hot and they're not drinking water. So so that's something I know we have tried to like honor for them, so that it's less difficult, because that is a really huge undertaking for kids.
Yeah, I
if we could celebrate after,
they celebrate after that.
that would be fun. I'd love to make it fun for them after, to be like, you did it, this is great, and then they can teach us more about it, because that's important for all the kids to know that everybody has something to celebrate and all of our cultures are special, and being different is part of what makes us a community, you know, and being able to be part of that for each other can bring us a lot closer together.
Yeah, this is like a kind of representing the community, how it's diverse and the inclusion. And that would be so nice. Like if they can like show the different kind of cultures and different kind of backgrounds. It's very nice. Like it's not necessary to have like a holiday or to have like a vacation day or off day during these occasions, but you know, because the kids sometimes, if I want to tell them about our like occasion and the occasion that we celebrate, sometimes I need to go to special communities for that. Like if I want to show my kids how do we celebrate Al-Adha or Al-Fitr or Ramadan, I have to take them where is like a Muslim community gathering, or Arab community gathering. This is the only way to show them this culture. But if the school maybe have like a hint of that, like this is a month of Ramadan, guys. If you would like to know, like
the student Talia or anyone can tell us about what they are doing in Ramadan.
Yeah,
So this one would be maybe like a nice idea.
that would
Because
be wonderful.
I see a lot of Arab and Muslims and reach school.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe that would be a good idea. It depends on the school, how the school will accept that, or they will not accept that. It depends on the school. So it's just a suggestion from me.
That would be wonderful. Yes. And I see you supporting that as well in the chat, Miss Rees. That's fantastic. I think that's a direction that we need to go, where it's educational, like you said, not a vacation day, but where we can all learn about it and celebrate together. It's important. Thank you guys for your feedback. This is great. Are there any other components to supporting the families at Reach that you want to add to?
For now, for me, yeah, this is what I have.
Great, thank you. And then we were talking about events. I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. So if we can look at even listing with families what events are important to them, and then at the top of each year, knowing that the calendars might be different every year, just in August meeting to say, okay, here's where that's going to fall this year, and here's what we want to do to learn about it and then celebrate. Because the sharing should both be educationally related, that they're learning about what it means, and then being able to celebrate together, making it fun and engaging. They'll remember that, like they'll take that with them, you know.
Yeah, we can send cookies with Talia when she go to school when our occasions.
Yay!
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can make like
also
traditional
accommodate
cookies and
something.
send with her.
Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Rees. What were you going to add?
Yeah, I wanted to add that absolutely we can support. I mean, and in a culture that we can, and especially learning, because the more we learn, we more understand. So I would love to understand others and respect the different perspectives as well, because diversity and inclusion, I think, it's very important in academics in order for our students to succeed.
Yes, 100%. That's what we're here for. Thank you guys. This is great. So since we're here, we're going to talk a little bit about what the committee is. The ELAC committee is the English Learner Advisory Committee. So that basically means kids who are learning a second language, and that language is English, because they have a first language outside of English. The committee is made up of parents and staff, and the committee is responsible for advising the principal and staff in development of a site plan for our emerging bilingual students, and then potentially working with any funds that might be allocated. Our community is not very large for ELs, but this year I think is our largest number. So we have 43 kids right now out of 640, which is the biggest group we've ever had. In the past, we've had about 30. And so that might actually be something really fun to do as we grow. And then just looking at what needs you have from the school. So identifying school needs, like what can we do to meet your needs better, and discussing the importance of attendance is important. So that's something we address during the meetings, and then engaging families through meetings and celebrations. And that's one of the things that we'd really like to expand on, like we had been talking about, is just how do we have more parent involvement in guiding celebrations or festivals or whatever that's going to look like, so the kids are learning more about the diversity on campus. Our next meeting is in January. I know that's close, but that was kind of intentional, because I was hoping we'd have people who were excited to come back, bring friends, talk to people you know, and then we can bring in more people to talk about, okay, so what are the events that are important to you? What are some ways we want to address celebrating? And if we're going to do food, like what are the components that would make it safe during COVID, so we could try something maybe this year? Or you know, what are menu items that we want to address and make sure everybody's doing something different so we don't end up with all one thing. Just party planning, basically. But we want to have a group of people together to look at doing that as a team. So the next meeting is in the morning. If that doesn't work for you, let me know and we could make a second meeting in the evening if that's better. We do have them kind of toggling back and forth to try and catch different chunks, because some people can make it in the mornings and not at night. Some people can make it at night and not the morning. But if you're interested in coming, which I would love to have you come and bring your friends, I'd be happy to extend that and do one in the morning and one in the evening so that we can put all of that together. And then we have one in March and one in May. Does that help? Ah, what happened? Okay. And then as far as ELAC board elections, so since we have a growing EL community, we do need to have a board at some point soon. And so we want everyone to be welcome. Each ELAC committee should be made up of a board of parents who can commit to attending most of the meetings. You don't have to come to all of them, but enough that you'd be a voice that's heard in the community at Reach and kind of part of our governing body moving forward for ELAC. And the board will be voted on by parents of emerging bilingual students. So if you're interested in being on the board, you can leave your name in the chat and then we'll send out a Google form and parents just kind of click yes or no. Even if there's only 3 of you here, you can be those 3 and then they beep, boop, boop, click right through. We'd love to have you on the board if you're interested. Oh, good. Yay, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And then I want to thank you for your attendance today. Thank you for your time and your participation. Families are what make Reach special, you know. We have a really diverse community. And I think being able to celebrate that more moving forward is such a gift to our students. So thank you for coming and hopefully you can make it next time. Spread the word. We want to do more to build that diversity and inclusion.
Oh.
If anybody has any questions or things you want to add before we go, go ahead.
Okay. For me, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I do. Is there like an email list and where we can get like the recording or like be in touch?
Oh, with all the parents?
Yes, like with the parents or like those of us that attend for this meeting, like if we have additional questions or concerns or like we want to create an event.
I can give you my email. Oh, it's on there. Lol. If you guys want to share them in the chat with each other, I think that would be fantastic because that would be the beginning of our list. That would be awesome. I know last year we had tried to really get people engaged, and having someone come back a second time is something that would be just the bee's knees, which means great. Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I shared my email. Like if anything, you can contact me. I mean, if any volunteering or anything that I can support, like let me know. I wrote it down on the chat and I have yours. So if anything, I'll get in contact with you.
That would be great. Thank you. I'll shoot a message over so we can stay in touch. Thank you so much. This is fantastic. I look forward to seeing you guys next time and planning some celebrations moving forward.
The next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne.
No
Great
problem.
job.
Have a great night.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Good night. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Good.